Dear friends, I'm Dr. David. This year I just turned 60, and after more than 3 decades walking alongside patients across America, I've realized something very simple. True health doesn't just come from expensive pills, but often from what's right there on our dinner table. One afternoon, a patient of mine, Eleanor, 67 years old, came into my office looking worried. She said, "Doctor, I've been cutting out everything. No potatoes, no corn, no carrots. But why is my morning blood sugar still around a 110, sometimes even 120? I looked at her and smiled. I knew Eleanor was like so many patients I've met, living in fear that every vegetable with starch is their enemy. But the truth is different. Sweetness or starch doesn't always mean harm. The key is not to eliminate, but to choose wisely. There are vegetables that, when used correctly, are not only safe but powerful allies, stabilizing blood sugar, protecting the heart, and giving lasting energy. I want you to imagine this: our body is like a garden. If you pull out all the flowers just because you fear weeds, the garden becomes barren. Sometimes the very vegetables you thought were dangerous carry the nutrients that protect your eyes, your heart, and even the tiny vessels running through your body. In today's video, I don't just want to hand you a dry list. I want to take you on a journey. Together we'll explore familiar vegetables, from broccoli and carrots to cucumbers and avocados, and uncover why science calls them natural medicine. I'll also share real stories from my patients, people who found balance simply by adding one vegetable to their evening meal. You may be surprised to hear that a single cup of broccoli can lower blood sugar almost as effectively as metformin, but without the side effects. Or that a sweet carrot you've been afraid of is actually a natural shield for your eyes, protecting against diabetic blindness. Have you ever asked yourself if just a few small choices each day could change my health for years to come? Why wouldn't I try? Today we start with that question. I invite you to sit down, relax your shoulders, take a sip of water, and join me on this journey. A journey into the hidden power of ordinary vegetables that carry extraordinary healing. And I promise by the end of this video, you'll see your plate of vegetables in a completely new light. The first vegetable I want to talk about is carrots. When people with diabetes hear about carrots, many frown and say, "Doctor, that root is too sweet. It must spike my blood sugar. I don't dare eat it." I usually smile because I know it's exactly that sweetness that has led to carrots being misunderstood for so many years. The truth is, carrots have a low glycemic index. That means the sugar in carrots is released slowly, not in dangerous waves after a meal. If your body is like a river, carrots are like a gentle rain, steady calm, not a sudden flood causing chaos. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 65-year-old retired teacher. When she first came to me, she had completely cut carrots out of her diet for fear of sweetness. The result, her eyes were constantly strained and her vision declined quickly. Tests showed she was deficient in beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, vital for eye health. I explained, "Margaret, with diabetes, your eyes face the threat of diabetic retinopathy, a disease that can lead to blindness. Carrots eaten properly won't spike your blood sugar, but will act as a natural shield for your vision." Science confirms this. People with higher beta-carotene levels are at lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Carrots provide not only beta-carotene, but also fiber, slowing digestion and easing the burden on the pancreas. I often advise my patients, don't look at carrots as just a garnish. Add them to salads, stew them with chicken, or simply snack on them raw in the afternoon. A carrot stick is far better than a sugary pastry. What I love most about carrots isn't just their nutrition, but their simplicity. In one humble root, nature gave us a double gift: stable blood sugar and stronger eyes, our windows to the world as we age. Have you noticed your vision fading faster after 50? Maybe the words blur on the newspaper or lights feel harsher than before. That may be your body whispering that your eyes need care. And sometimes that care comes in the simplest form: a carrot on your plate. So instead of avoiding carrots, welcome them as a friend that not only brightens your dish, but also keeps your eyes clear for the years ahead. The second vegetable I want to highlight is asparagus. If carrots bring sweetness and light for your eyes, asparagus is the quiet friend caring for your body from within, especially your gut microbiome. Picture this: your body is like a city with trillions of tiny residents. Gut bacteria, some are helpful citizens building and protecting, others cause trouble. Digestive issues, inflammation, even problems with glucose control. Our job is to feed the good citizens so the city runs smoothly. And asparagus is one of the best foods for them. Asparagus contains a special fiber called inulin, something we can't digest but beneficial bacteria love. Inulin acts like natural fertilizer, feeding good bacteria, restoring balance, and in turn improving glucose control and insulin sensitivity. Simply put, when you care for your gut, you care for your blood sugar. I recall Robert, a 62-year-old accountant. He often complained of bloating, poor digestion, and high post-meal blood sugars. His diet was mostly meat and starch with very few greens. I suggested adding asparagus 2 to 3 times a week, lightly roasted with olive oil and garlic. 3 months later, not only were his post-meal sugars steadier, but he also said, "Doctor, my stomach feels lighter. I no longer feel that constant bloating." Beyond inulin, asparagus is rich in vitamin K for bone health, crucial after 50, especially since diabetes increases the risk of osteoporosis. It also carries antioxidants like rutin and quercetin, which fight inflammation, the silent enemy fueling insulin resistance. Interestingly, asparagus has been used in traditional medicine for centuries, from India to China, as a natural cooling food and gentle diuretic. Modern science now affirms this asparagus supports the kidneys, flushes toxins, and keeps circulation strong, all vital for people managing diabetes. For me, asparagus is that quiet friend. Not flashy like bell peppers, not sweet like carrots, but doing the important backstage work, strengthening the foundation so we can live healthier longer. So next time you see asparagus at the store, don't walk past it. Take some home, roast it simply, or saute it quickly with garlic. Small changes like this may surprise you with how grateful your body feels. Dear friends, the next vegetable I want to share with you is arugula. If carrots bring sweetness to the eyes and asparagus quietly cares for the gut, then arugula, also called rucola, is a leafy green with a bold, peppery personality. Italians often call it the leaf of life, and I like to describe it as a spice for health. Small, simple, but powerful. I once met Linda, 68, an Italian woman living in Boston. She told me that as a child she was used to eating salads with arugula, but after moving to the US, that habit faded, replaced by plain lettuce mixes. As she grew older, Linda developed type 2 diabetes along with high blood pressure and osteoporosis. When we discussed her diet, I smiled and said, "Linda, go back to your old salad. That little arugula leaf will do more for you than you think." What makes arugula so special? First, it's rich in vitamin K, a nutrient often overlooked but essential for bone health. For people over 50, especially those with diabetes, bones weaken faster and fracture risk increases. Vitamin K in arugula acts like the glue binding calcium into the skeleton, keeping it strong and resilient. Arugula is also packed with natural nitrates, which turn into nitric oxide in the body, a miracle molecule that relaxes blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and improves circulation. I often explain to patients, think of your blood vessels as highways. Nitric oxide is like the road crew clearing traffic, allowing blood to flow freely. For people with diabetes prone to vascular blockages, this is a priceless natural medicine. In addition, arugula belongs to the cruciferous family alongside broccoli and Brussels sprouts. That means it contains glucosinolates, powerful antioxidants that fight chronic inflammation. And as you know, chronic inflammation is the silent fire fueling insulin resistance, heart disease, nerve damage, even cancer. Science confirms that diets rich in greens like arugula improve insulin sensitivity and reduce HbA1c, the key marker of blood sugar, over 3 months. And I've seen it firsthand. When Linda returned to her daily arugula salad, just a handful with olive oil and lemon, her blood pressure dropped, her sugars stabilized, and she joked, "Doctor, I feel 10 years younger." Yes, arugula can taste peppery, even slightly bitter. But that bitterness is a signal of the powerful antioxidants inside. So if you're tired of the same old lettuce, try adding arugula. Your body may thank you more than you expect. Friends, sometimes health doesn't come from complicated pills, but from a small leaf sitting quietly in your salad bowl. Arugula is living proof of that. Now, the fourth food I want to talk about is not a leaf, but a fruit, the bell pepper. If arugula is a spicy note in the nutritional symphony, bell peppers are like a vibrant painting, bringing life to both body and soul. Red, yellow, orange, green. Each pepper is like a glowing lantern on your plate. But their true value lies not in their beauty, but in their nutrition. I once met James, 72, a retired truck driver in Florida. He ate mostly meat and fried potatoes, but rarely any colorful vegetables. His blood sugar was high, his blood pressure unstable, and he often complained of burning, tingling feet, a sign of diabetic neuropathy. I suggested adding bell peppers to his meals. He laughed, "Doctor, I can't eat spicy food." I explained that bell peppers aren't hot. They're sweet, crunchy, and even kids enjoy them. So why are bell peppers so valuable? First, they're one of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, even more than oranges or lemons. Vitamin C boosts immunity and protects blood vessels from inflammation, a key factor in worsening diabetes. Think of your blood vessels as delicate pipes and high blood sugar as rushing water eroding them. Vitamin C is like a protective coating, keeping them strong and flexible. Bell peppers also contain carotenoids, especially lutein and zeaxanthin, known for protecting vision. For people with diabetes, the risk of eye complications like retinopathy is real. Adding bell peppers is a simple way to guard the windows of your soul. Another benefit: bell peppers are low in calories and carbohydrates, meaning you can eat plenty without spiking your sugars. Imagine a salad of red and yellow peppers, beautiful, filling, curbing cravings, and providing lasting energy. After 3 months, James returned and happily said, "Doctor, I'm starting to love colorful meals. I feel lighter and my feet don't burn as much." His tests showed improved blood pressure and lower post-meal sugars. You see, big changes often start small, like a single bell pepper on your plate. Food nourishes the body, but also the spirit. Each color you add to your meals is a light you add to your health. So next time at the market, stop at that colorful produce aisle. Pick up some fresh bell peppers. Let them brighten not just your dish, but your entire journey to health. Now, the next vegetable I want to mention is cucumber. When people think of cucumbers, they often picture a salad garnish or slices on the eyes to ease dark circles. But after over 30 years treating diabetes, I see cucumbers as a silent friend in blood sugar care. Let me tell you about George, 70, a retired farmer from Texas. He came in often thirsty, waking at night to urinate and feeling tired every morning. His blood sugar wasn't dangerously high, but it swung unpredictably. His diet lacked refreshing greens. I suggested something simple: add cucumber daily. He chuckled, "Doctor, can something so plain really help?" But after a few months, George returned smiling. He said he slept better, went to the bathroom less at night, and his morning sugars were more stable. Why cucumbers? First, they're 95% water. People with diabetes lose more water because their kidneys work hard to flush out excess sugar, leaving them dehydrated, tired, dizzy. Eating cucumber is like watering a dry garden, each cell refreshed and renewed. But cucumbers are not just water. They contain unique compounds, cucurbitacins and lignans, that slow carbohydrate digestion, preventing sudden sugar spikes. Imagine them as the conductor, keeping the orchestra in rhythm, avoiding chaos. Another bonus: cucumbers act as a gentle, natural diuretic, helping the body flush excess sugar without stressing the kidneys. Crucial for older adults. Science agrees. A study in Plant Foods for Human Nutrition found cucumber extract lowered blood sugar in diabetic animals. While we need more human studies, my clinical experience and Georgia's story shows clear benefits. So how should you enjoy cucumbers? Add slices to your water, toss them in salads, or snack on them raw. Swap the cookie for a crisp cucumber. Your body will thank you. Friends, sometimes health doesn't come from costly solutions. It comes from the simplest things, like a humble cucumber sitting quietly in your kitchen, waiting for you to recognize its true gift. For people with diabetes, it's a small but steady ally to keep the body balanced. The next vegetable I want to talk about is broccoli. If I had to choose one vegetable to call the silent hero in the fight against diabetes, it would definitely be broccoli. I often tell my patients never to underestimate these little green florets, because inside them is a treasure that even modern science marvels at. I remember Susan, 66, a retired teacher from California. She came in worried, "Doctor, I've been taking my meds and exercising, but my blood sugar is always higher than I want, sometimes 130 in the morning." When I asked about her diet, I found she rarely touched broccoli because she disliked the taste. I gently explained, "Susan, some foods may not attract us right away, but if you give them a chance, they can be the key to better health." So we worked on making broccoli more enjoyable in her meals. What makes broccoli so powerful? The secret is sulforaphane, a natural compound that acts like a strong warrior, improving insulin sensitivity and lowering blood sugar. A study in Science Translational Medicine showed broccoli extract could lower fasting blood sugar by up to 10% in type 2 diabetics almost as effective as metformin, but from a vegetable. Sulforaphane also fights oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, the silent fires that damage blood vessels, nerves, and the heart. Broccoli is like cool water putting out those fires, protecting your cells. It's also rich in vitamin C and fiber. Vitamin C acts like armor for blood vessels, while fiber slows digestion and prevents blood sugar spikes after meals. After 3 months of adding broccoli to her meals, steamed sautéed with olive oil and garlic, Susan came back smiling. "Doctor, I no longer fear broccoli. My fasting blood sugar dropped to 115, and I feel so much lighter." Friends, sometimes strength comes not from glamour, but from persistence. A simple plate of broccoli can be a miracle for your body and your journey with diabetes. The seventh food today is the tomato. Few foods are as familiar as the tomato in salad, soups, and jars of bright red sauce in the kitchen. But for me, after 30 years of working with diabetic patients, tomatoes are not just a colorful addition to meals, they're silent protectors of your heart and blood vessels. I recall Daniel, 64, a retired engineer worried about his heart. "Doctor, my blood sugar is okay, but I'm scared of a heart attack." His diet rarely included tomatoes, so I suggested adding them daily. What makes tomatoes special is lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that gives them their red color. It reduces inflammation, improves glucose metabolism, and protects blood vessels from damage caused by high sugar. Think of lycopene as protective paint on pipes, stopping high blood sugar from corroding vessel walls. It's even absorbed better when tomatoes are cooked. A homemade tomato sauce without sugar is like natural medicine. Tomatoes are also rich in vitamin C and potassium. Vitamin C reduces inflammation, while potassium lowers blood pressure, a frequent problem in people with diabetes. After a few months, Daniel's blood pressure dropped bad. Cholesterol improved, and most importantly, he felt peace of mind. He laughed, "Doctor, now every time I see red tomatoes, I think of my heart's peace." Friends, sometimes we search for complex solutions while the answer is right on our plate: a ripe tomato. Simple, humble, yet powerful. The next vegetable I want to share is cauliflower. If broccoli is the champion of blood sugar control, cauliflower is the silent substitute. I tell my patients, to protect your health, you don't always need to give up what you love. Smart substitutions are enough. Cauliflower is one of the best choices. I remember John, 58, a retired engineer who loved rice and mashed potatoes. When diagnosed with prediabetes, he was told to cut carbs completely. He felt hopeless. "Doctor, life without my favorite foods is hard." Instead of forbidding, I suggested swapping rice for cauliflower rice and potatoes for mashed cauliflower. He was surprised, but cauliflower's low-carb nature made it a perfect alternative. It even contains choline, essential for liver health and insulin production. For patients with both diabetes and fatty liver, choline is a vital ally. Cauliflower is also packed with glucosinolates, which help detoxify the liver and fight inflammation, the silent fire fueling insulin resistance and heart complications. 3 months later, John returned smiling, "Doctor, I still enjoy mashed dishes, but now it's cauliflower. My blood sugar improved, my liver is healthier, and I don't feel deprived." Friends, cauliflower may look plain, but simplicity can be the foundation of health. Replace some carbs with cauliflower, and you'll discover health is not sacrifice, but wise choices. Dear friends, there are foods I often call loyal friends. They don't make noise, they don't have flashy colors, but quietly care for us every single day. Spinach is one of those friends. I remember Eleanor, 65, a retired homemaker. She often complained, "Doctor, I take my medications regularly, but every morning I still feel heavy and my arms and legs often tingle." When reviewing her diet, I noticed she rarely ate dark green vegetables. I suggested she add spinach to her dinner. Maybe a bowl of soup, a salad, or just a handful lightly sautéed with garlic. She was hesitant at first, but after only 2 months, she returned and told me, "I never expected such a simple food could make me feel so much better." What makes spinach a superfood for diabetes? First, it's rich in magnesium, a mineral essential for regulating insulin. Many studies have shown that magnesium deficiency is directly linked to insulin resistance, one of the root causes of type 2 diabetes. By getting enough magnesium, the body becomes more sensitive to insulin, helping blood sugar stay stable. Spinach is also a rich source of potassium. For people over 50, especially those with diabetes who often struggle with high blood pressure, potassium is like a key to balance. It helps relax blood vessel walls, reduces strain on the heart, and keeps circulation steady. And it doesn't stop there. Spinach contains alpha lipoic acid, ALA, a powerful antioxidant. ALA not only improves insulin sensitivity, but also protects the nerves. Many people with long-term diabetes develop peripheral neuropathy, tingling, burning, or prickling in the hands and feet. ALA in spinach acts like a refreshing stream, soothing those nerve injuries and even supporting regeneration. What impresses me most about spinach is its versatility. You can toss it into salads, blend it in green smoothies, make soup, or saute it with olive oil. Each way brings a unique experience, and all are friendly to blood sugar. I often ask my patients, have you ever felt your body thank you after a meal rich in greens? With spinach, the answer is often yes. It not only nourishes the body, but also leaves a feeling of lightness, as if you've just given yourself a gift of peace. Dear friends, sometimes health doesn't come from faraway things, but from what's right in front of us. A simple bunch of greens. Spinach is proof that small daily choices can bring big changes. The next food that helps stabilize blood sugar may surprise you. Garlic. In almost every kitchen, there's a familiar ingredient, garlic. It's often seen as just a spice to add flavor, but to me, after many years as a doctor, garlic is more like a natural medicine that nature has gifted us. And for those living with diabetes, garlic is truly a small treasure. I remember a patient named Michael, 63, a carpenter. He often struggled with high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, and unstable blood sugar. He told me, "Doctor, I take my medications, but I always feel heavy and tired." As we talked, I realized his meals were simple, but rarely included garlic since he thought it was unnecessary. I advised him, "Michael, try adding garlic to your daily meals. It's not just seasoning, it's medicine for your heart and your blood sugar." Why is garlic so valuable? First, it contains a compound called allicin. This is the soul of garlic released when you crush or chop it. Allicin has been proven to improve insulin sensitivity, helping the body use glucose more effectively. For people with diabetes, that's like giving the pancreas a much-needed helping hand. But that's not all. Garlic lowers blood pressure, reduces bad cholesterol LDL, and increases good cholesterol HDL. As you know, diabetes and heart disease always go hand in hand. If diabetes is like a steep mountain, heart disease is the winding road around it, full of dangerous turns. Garlic is like a safe map guiding you through with less risk. Many studies have shown that people who regularly eat garlic have a lower risk of heart disease and more stable blood sugar. I often tell patients, one small clove of garlic can do more than you think. It's like a silent guard protecting you day and night. After 3 months of adding garlic into his meals, from stir-fried veggies to grilled meat and chicken soup, Michael returned with a big smile. "Doctor, I feel lighter and my heartbeat is steadier. My wife even says I look healthier." Tests showed his cholesterol had dropped significantly, his blood pressure was under better control, and his blood sugar was more stable. Dear friends, garlic may be small, its flavor strong, even overwhelming at times, but within that simplicity lies extraordinary healing power. Just a few cloves of garlic each day not only add taste to your meals, but also add protection for your heart, blood vessels, and your whole journey toward better health. So remember, sometimes heroes don't need to be big. They can be just a clove of garlic sitting quietly in the corner of your kitchen, waiting for you to recognize its true worth. The next food I want to share with you today is the avocado. In the world of food, there are items we call luxuries not because of their price, but because of their benefits that far outweigh their appearance. Avocado is one of them. Creamy, rich, easy to pair with many dishes. But more importantly, for people with diabetes, avocado is like a natural armor protecting blood sugar in the heart. I remember Carol, 61, a lively woman from California. She came to me saying, "Doctor, I follow a strict diet. Avoid all fats, but I'm always tired, always hungry, and my blood sugar after meals is all over the place." I listened and explained, "Not all fats are bad, Carol. Our bodies need healthy fats for balance, and avocado is one of the best sources. What makes avocado special is its monounsaturated fats, MUFA. These healthy fats improve insulin sensitivity, helping the body use sugar more efficiently, preventing those post-meal blood sugar spikes. Avocado also lowers bad cholesterol LDL and raises good cholesterol HDL, crucial for heart protection, especially for those with diabetes and cardiovascular risks. But avocado doesn't stop at healthy fats. It's also packed with fiber. That means eating half an avocado keeps you full, longer, curbs snacking, and slows down sugar absorption. I often tell my patients, think of avocado as a safety brake, preventing your blood sugar from rushing downhill after meals. Science supports this too. Studies show that people who regularly eat avocados have more stable blood sugar, less insulin resistance, and even slimmer waistlines thanks to better weight control. And as you know, maintaining a healthy weight is one of the keys to managing diabetes. After 3 months of adding half an avocado to her breakfast, sometimes in salads, sometimes on whole grain toast, Carol returned with a radiant smile. Doctor, for the first time in years, I don't feel those gnawing hunger pangs mid-morning. My blood sugar is steadier, and I even lost a few pounds without feeling deprived. Seeing her so joyful, I felt deeply fulfilled because sometimes one small change can open a big door to health. Dear friends, avocado is not just a creamy fruit to enjoy. It's nature's message: not all fats are scary. With the right choices, fats can become allies, protecting you from the dangerous complications of diabetes. So next time you see a ripe avocado at the store, don't just see it as an extra snack. See it as an opportunity to gift your body balance, fullness, and peace in every heartbeat. Dear friends, there are some vegetables that at first glance don't seem appealing, small, slightly bitter, and often pushed aside on the plate. But to me, Brussels sprouts are a green gem many people haven't truly discovered yet. I clearly remember one of my patients, Helen, 69, from Chicago. She came to my clinic with stiffness in her feet, sometimes feeling like pins and needles, or even burning. Classic symptoms of diabetic neuropathy. She had tried many pain medications, but the results were only temporary. When we talked about her diet, I asked, "Have you ever tried Brussels sprouts?" She laughed. "Those little baby cabbages, they don't taste good at all." I just smiled and said, "Try them once, you might be surprised." What makes Brussels sprouts such a special friend for people with diabetes? First, they're packed with fiber. Fiber acts as a natural brake, slowing down carbohydrate absorption and preventing blood sugar spikes after meals. For someone with diabetes, every meal can feel like a downhill slope. And the fiber in Brussels sprouts is the brake that keeps the ride safe. But that's not all. Brussels sprouts also contain alpha-lipoic acid, ALA, a powerful antioxidant. ALA not only improves insulin sensitivity, but also helps reduce neuropathy symptoms, the numbness, tingling, and burning Helen experienced. In other words, ALA feels like a cool breeze, soothing tired nerves after years of battling high blood sugar. In addition, Brussels sprouts are rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, and folate, all vital nutrients that support heart health, bone strength, and the immune system. These are the very areas where many people with diabetes struggle as they age. After 3 months of adding Brussels sprouts to her meals, sometimes roasted with olive oil and walnuts, sometimes stir-fried quickly with garlic, Helen returned with a big smile. She said, "Doctor, I don't feel the pins and needles in my feet nearly as much, and I've actually grown to like these little veggies." Her tests also showed more stable post-meal blood sugar and lower blood pressure. Dear friends, sometimes true strength lies not in big things, but in the small ones. Brussels sprouts, those tiny baby cabbages, prove this point. They may not look exciting at first, but when given a chance, they can give your body more than you expect. So next time you see Brussels sprouts at the store, don't pass them by. Roast them until crispy with olive oil and let them become part of your healthy living journey. Who knows? They might become one of your most loyal allies in protecting your blood sugar and your nerves. The last vegetable I want to share with you today is red cabbage. When you walk into a supermarket, have you ever stopped at a head of red cabbage? Standing there with its deep purple color, it almost glows among the greens. Many people glance at it and move on, thinking it's no different than regular cabbage, just fancier. But for me, and for many of my patients with diabetes, red cabbage is a colorful treasure nature has given us. I remember Richard, 67, a retired engineer from Ohio. He came to see me with blood sugar that was sometimes stable, sometimes not. What worried him more was chest discomfort and fatigue after starchy meals. When I asked about his diet, I discovered he rarely ate colorful vegetables. I suggested Richard try adding red cabbage to your meals. Don't see it as just color for your salad. See it as natural medicine. What makes red cabbage special are the pigments called anthocyanins, the same compounds found in blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Studies show anthocyanins reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and protect blood vessels. For people with diabetes, that's like building a protective shield against insulin resistance and cardiovascular complications. Red cabbage is also high in fiber, which slows sugar absorption and prevents spikes, as well as vitamin K for bone health and vitamin C for blood vessel protection. Together, these nutrients make red cabbage a complete gift of nutrition, stabilizing blood sugar, supporting the heart, and keeping bones strong. I often tell my patients the colors of vegetables are not just for beauty, they're signals of nutrients. And with red cabbage, its vibrant purple color is a signal of rich protective compounds. After 3 months of eating red cabbage salad with olive oil and walnuts, Richard returned with great news. His blood sugar was steadier, his bad cholesterol dropped, and his blood pressure improved. He smiled and said, "Doctor, I never thought such a beautiful food could actually make me healthier." Dear friends, we often look far away for solutions, but sometimes the answer is right on our colorful plate. Red cabbage doesn't just make your dish look better, it makes your health journey stronger. So next time you see a head of red cabbage at the supermarket, don't just walk past it. Take it home, slice it thin, toss it into a salad or pickle it, and let its vibrant purple be a reminder that nature has gentle yet powerful ways to care for us. Dear friends, we've just traveled a long journey together. From the sweet carrots that protect our eyes to the mighty broccoli, from creamy avocados nourishing the heart to the radiant red cabbage, nature's jewel. Each vegetable, whether small or simple, carries its own power like instruments in a symphony. And when we bring them together, the symphony becomes a song of health and peace for the body. I know that for many of you over 50, the path to health isn't easy. Blood sugar swings numb hands and feet, or the fear of complications often feel like a heavy burden. But I want you to pause and ask yourself, am I overlooking the simplest things right here in my own kitchen that could nourish my body? In more than 30 years of practice, I've seen patients completely change their lives with just one small decision, adding a new vegetable to their meals each day. It doesn't have to be everything all at once. It doesn't have to be rushed. Just start with one small step. Today a carrot, tomorrow a piece of cauliflower, and over time your body will thank you for it. Remember, diabetes is not a sentence. It's a reminder to appreciate your body, to listen to it more, and to nourish it with the pure gifts nature provides. Each meal is not just nutrition, it's a vote you cast for your health. And if you're watching this video today, I believe you already have the desire to change. So don't wait any longer. Right after this video ends, choose one of the 13 vegetables we've explored together and add it to your next meal. Start with one choice and let it grow into a big result. Dear friends, thank you for staying with me until this very moment. If you found this video helpful, please click like so this message can reach more people who also need a guiding hand on their health journey. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss my next shares on living strong and peaceful after 50. And finally, I'd like to invite you to share in the comments below, of the 13 vegetables we explored today, which one will you choose to start your journey? Write it down, because sometimes writing it out is the first step in turning thoughts into action. Dear friends, health is not a destination, but a journey. And on that journey, you are not alone. I and the entire community here will walk with you. I wish you a life full of energy, peace, and health. I'm Dr. David, and I'll see you in the next video.